Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working through Advanced Isometric Lab number 4. So let's go. Here you can see in the Google Doc, we have Advanced ISO number 4. Clicking on Advanced ISO number 4 is going to open up the isometric block for us. Taking a look at this isometric shape, you'll notice that it does have dimensions, which are going to allow us to construct the entire object. Once the part file has been constructed, we're then going to construct a drawing sheet to go along with this. Remember, the Advanced ISO labs are 2 parts: part file, drawing sheet file. Taking a quick look at this object, you can see that we're going to start out with the overall width of the part. What I'm going to build first is this lower rectangular object. So in order to do that, I have to establish a 108-inch dimension by a 20 plus 24 plus 20, which is 64-inch dimension, and then extrude it the height given right here, which is 24. So let's go into OnShape and get this started. First, I'm going to create a new document. The document's going to be titled Advanced ISO number 4. Now that the part file has loaded, I'm going to start by creating a sketch on the top plane. I like to hide the front and right side planes when I'm working on this object. Cleans up the middle of the screen a little bit more so I don't get confused about what lines are what. Now that I have a sketch plane established on my top plane, I'm going to rotate to the top view of my Cartesian cube. And then I'm going to begin by creating my 2-point rectangle. So establish a corner rectangle starting at the origin. I like to start at the origin point so it doesn't interfere with my drawings later. Establish a rectangle at any size. It doesn't really matter what size you make the initial rectangle because we always apply dimensions to change the overall size. Now that I have my rectangle established, I'm going to use the dimension tool to apply a 108-inch dimension for the bottom line. This is going to make the rectangle way bigger than the screen space we have, which is okay. All I have to do is click the word top over here on the Cartesian cube, and it will shrink the rectangle down for me. Now I'm going to apply the 64-inch dimension to the right sideline. Once again, click the word top in the Cartesian cube, and it will zoom the object out for me. Now that my dimensions, as they're shown in the isometric shape in the Google Doc, match the original rectangle, I'm going to extrude that rectangular shape up the distance given here, which is 24. Back in OnShape, I'm going to click the green check mark to finish the sketch. I'm now going to use the Extrude tool to extrude this rectangular shape, rotate it isometrically, and then give it the 24-inch dimension it needs to match the height in the Google Doc. Once the 24-inch dimension has been applied, I can click the green check mark, and the first part of my new object is done. The next step I'm going to do is cutting off these corner pieces and then chamfering an angle wall in the middle. To do that, I have to get some dimensions. The corner pieces are going to be 20 inches in width, and then 108 minus 88, which again is also going to equal 20 inches in length. So let's go back into OnShape, apply a new sketch to the top surface of my block, rotate to top view, and now I'm going to place 2 rectangles, one from the lower right corner of my existing block that goes up and to the left, a second from the upper right corner of my existing block that goes down and to the left. These rectangles can be really any size you want them to be, as we're going to use dimension standards to change them. Now that I have my 2 rectangular shapes drawn, I'm going to use the dimension tool to give these 2 rectangular blocks a dimension of 20 inches in length and 20 inches in height. Apply that 20-inch dimension to all sides of the 2 new rectangles we created. Once I've established the 2 new rectangles and given them all the appropriate dimensions, I can click the green check mark to finish the sketch. Again, I like to click on my small cube and rotate isometrically. Now I can use the extrusion tool, select the 2 rectangular squares I just created, and remove that area the height of the overall original block, which is 24. Our preview shows those two square corners sections being removed from the block. Click the green check mark to apply that extrusion. Double check your Google Doc and make sure that that matches what the shape looks like in your isometric view, which it does. Now we've got to cut this small diagonal line through the middle section that was remaining. I like to use a chamfer tool here. So I'm going to select the chamfer tool in the ribbon, choose the top right edge, and change your center option from equal distance to 2 distances. Apply 14 inches for distance 1 and 24 inches for distance 2. This should give you a matching angle as seen in the Google Doc. Once you've confirmed that it does match, you can go ahead and click the green check mark to finish that step. Taking a look back in the Google Doc, I'm now going to add the upper section of this part. I'm going to add it as a whole object, then cut away the 2 small circles that you see missing here. So to do that, I have to establish a new rectangle by putting a sketch plane on top of my existing block, starting in the upper left corner, and drawing a rectangle that is the same height as the existing block, but has a width of 44 plus 32. I'm going to show you an easy way to do this. Back into OnShape, select the sketch option, click on the top of the block, rotate again using the Cartesian cube to select the word top, and start your rectangle in the bottom left corner. Draw that rectangle all the way up to the top line. Finish that rectangle and use the dimension tool to apply a width by selecting the top line of the rectangle. This is where I told you we were going to apply an easier way of adding dimensions. 44 plus 32 is going to be the necessary width for this shape, but I'm not very good at math. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to type that in as an equation. 44 plus 32. OnShape dimensions will allow you to apply calculations the same as entering in a value. So when I hit enter, it's going to tell me that the calculation was 76. Doing that math on my own on the side, I did get 76 as a total when I added 44 and 32. Now that I have my rectangle established, I'm going to click the green check mark to finish that sketch. Rotate into an isometric view, select the extrude feature, and click on the new rectangle I just created. From here, I'm going to have to know the height that I have to extrude this block. Given the dimension back in my Google Doc, 32 inches is the height from the top of the existing block to the top of our new block. I now need to apply that 32-inch dimension to my extrusion. Click the green check mark, and that new extrusion becomes part of the block. 2 more steps, and we've got this entire block finished. The one I'm going to do first is removing the small circle from the right side of our new block. To do this, I have to establish a circle on a sketch plane that is on top of the new block and centered up and down on the right line. Let me show you how to do that. Start with a new sketch on the top surface of the existing block. Rotate using the top of the Cartesian cube, and then choose the circle tool in the ribbon. I've told you before not to lock these into corner points or squares or orange dashed lines. However, there's one exception. When I need something centered perfectly on a block, I'm going to use that snap point. So when I select my circle tool, I'm going to click when my orange box appears. This tells me that I'm perfectly centered on the line and I won't need to add anything but a diameter dimension. So go ahead and click once you've gotten into that orange box. start establishing your circle and drop it wherever you'd like. We're now going to use the dimension tool to apply, as shown in the Google Doc, a 40-inch diameter dimension. Choose the dimension tool, select the circle, and give it a diameter of 40. Finish that sketch step, rotate isometrically using the small cube, and select your extrusion. You're going to extrude both parts of this circle. So go ahead and click on both halves of that new circle we just created. Change your extrusion option from add to remove, and then tell it to remove 32 inches of that circle. This should be the same height as the second block we created on our shape. Once you've established a 32-inch removal, you can go ahead and click the green check mark. This should apply, as shown in the Google Doc, the small half circle cutout. The only thing we have left to do now is the last curve on the back of the object. Be very careful when you're looking at dimensions. 40 inches for our first circle represented the diameter. However, 44R for our second circle represents a radius. So in order to properly create this circle, I'm going to have to apply a diameter that's twice the radius. Back into OnShape, I want to rotate around so I can put a sketch plane on the back left side of my part. To do this, I click on the upper left corner of my Cartesian cube. This should rotate the block 90 degrees, showing me the back side. This is where I'll establish my new sketch plane. So go ahead and click Sketch. Select the back surface of this block, and then choose the Circle tool to establish a circle in the upper right corner of the back of the block. Draw that circle out, switch to your dimension tool, and apply a 44-inch radius, which is going to mean an 88-inch diameter. Remember, whole circles are dimensioned by diameter. So apply your 88-inch value for this circle. Click the green check mark to finish the sketch. Choose the extrusion tool. Select both parts of the new circle. Change your option to remove. And then back in the Google Doc, we have to look at how far in this circle is going to go. Given the dimension that lines up with the end of the circle on the upper part of our block, you'll see that it's 44 inches in depth. So back into OnShape, I'm going to change the depth of this extrusion to 44. Click the green check mark. Change to isometric view. And advanced ISO block number 4 is finished. Don't forget, you need to add, by clicking the plus sign in the lower left corner of your menu, a create drawing feature. This is going to allow us to add dimensions to a drawing feature, which is the second part of each of these advanced labs. As the drawing sheet is established, I want to select the part that I'd like to lay out. Given that I only have one part open in my menu, I'm going to select part 1. Create the front view first. Project up for a top view. Come back, select the front view again. Project to the right for a right side view. Come back, select the front view again. And now project to the upper right corner for an isometric view. Once your views are established, you can then go in and reference the ISO 4 drawing sheet in the Google Doc and make sure that you are matching up the dimensions from ISO 4 drawing sheet with the dimensions that you need in OnShape. A couple of quick examples would include a 44-inch dimension height for this half circle cutout, which I can apply by using the dimension tool. selecting the top line here and the bottom line here. Remember to add all the necessary dimensions as they're shown in the Google Doc Advanced Drawing Sheet number 4. That's all I have for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.